Tesla Giga Berlin protesters living in treehouses plan to stay. The Tesla protesters who are currently residing in treehouses in the forest surrounding Giga Berlin have no plans to leave, stating that they will stay indefinitely. Back in March, the protesters who aimed to stop the expansion of Tesla's Giga Berlin decided to take a drastic step to prevent the build-out of the factory. Build treehouses in the forest that would eventually be knocked down to make way for more manufacturing space of electric vehicles. Tesla Giga Berlin protesters take to treehouses to halt factory expansion. The protesters had signs that read "Stop Tesla" and "Water is a human right," pushing back against the EV maker's expansion of its only European manufacturing facility. However, there are dangers living in the forest with them, and the Interior Minister of the region of Brandenburg, Michael Stubben, has warned the protesters of potential fires. Stubben said that the forest and soil could be contaminated with ammunition, according to RBB24. The Interior Minister is assuming that there are possible dangers in the forest, including explosives in the ground from the war, which increases the risk of a forest fire. When Tesla first leveled the ground at Giga Berlin several years ago, the same risks were present. There were teams sent out to inspect the land and remove potential threats. Tesla Giga Berlin protesters aim to build more treehouses now. The same issues are present on the grounds of the forest where the protesters are currently residing. Stubben commented, "We believe the threat is not just abstract, as is the case with hundreds of thousands of hectares of forest in Brandenburg, but rather concrete. The first thing is to rule out any danger to the camp residents, but also to the forestry employees, the police and forest walkers." The protesters believe the comments from Stubben are simply a threat to get them to leave. It does not seem like they are the only people skeptical of the Interior Minister's comments. Environmental Minister Axel Vogel said there is no possibility of contamination of the forest floor, nor is there an increased risk of fire, as long as there is no digging. So there is a danger from the perspective of the Forestry Authority, not in the case if there is no intervention in the ground, if no digging is carried out into the ground. However, Vogel said he is happy that Stubben has offered to search for explosives or any remaining danger there is. Other parties are having trouble with the protesters and their right to assembly. Marlene Bloch of Landtag Brandenburg said she believes the Interior Ministry does not want them there. "I have the impression that this camp is not wanted there. However, there is no violence as a result of the protests and, as long as the fire risk is under control, they are free to express their discontent with the factory's expansion." Source: reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at teslarati.